And we are live.
Okay, thank you. Okay, welcome to this Troy Planning Commission meeting for Wednesday, July 8th. Please call the roll.
Mr. Wolke.
Here.
Mayor. Here. Mrs. Ehrlich.
Here.
Mr. Titterington.
Here.
Mr. Westmeyer.
Here.
Mr. Peppers.
Here.
Mr. McGarry.
Here.
All members are present.
Great. Okay, we have our minutes from our meeting of June 24th. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to those minutes? I do note a misspelling, if you don't mind, Susan. Right there at the top third of the page, it says a motion was made by Mr. Westmeyer, seconded. On the next line, application of 126 South Cherry Street is submitted, and to delete any reference that the motion included the repot. I think it means repot.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Fixed.
Other than that correction, is there anything else on the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? They stand accepted. Okay, the next matter on the agenda, the Historic District application for 201 West Main Street. Does staff have a report?
Yes, sir, we do. The applicant is Ms. Trejo with Garmin Miller Architects. She is here on the Zoom meeting if there are any questions. The application is for the addition of a fence to the property at 201 West Main Street. This property is zone B2, General Business District. At this time, there's not an OHI form for this property. This is the Justice Center building, which was constructed in 1972. This property is not on the National Historic Register. The applicant is seeking approval for the installation of a fence for screening of the mechanical equipment that is currently located at the front corner of the building. This proposed fence will be installed again to provide screening of this equipment at the front. If you're looking at it from the street, is the front right corner of the property. The fence material is Trex, which is a composite material to give a wood appearance, and is also much more durable than wood. The color of the fence will be woodland brown and have a finished height of 5 feet. The fence will not project beyond the front leading edge of the building wall. Staff does recommend approval of the alterations, given that fence does meet the city requirements for fence modifications. The alterations are in keeping with the historic nature of the district, and the proposed style of the building product is appropriate for material.
Any questions of staff?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Trinton.
the 5 feet height, Robert, is that high enough to hide everything?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And the gate will be made of the same material? They have to get back into there somehow.
Correct. Everything will be constructed from the Trex material.
Okay. Any other questions of staff?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mayor. Yes. Mrs. Ehrlich.
Yes.
Mr. Titterington.
Yes.
Mr. Westmeyer.
Yes.
Mr. Peppers.
Yes.
Mr. McGarry.
Jim, you're muted.
McGarry.
Jim, you're muted.
There I am.
There you go.
Yes.
Mr. Wolke.
Yes.
Approved.
Okay, next we have a historic district application for 128 South Short Street. Does staff have a report?
Yes, sir. The applicants are the owners of the property. They're requesting approval for construction of a detached 2-car garage for their property located at 128 South Short Street. This modification will consist of building a new garage, installing a hard surface driveway. This property is zoned R5, which is single family residential, located at the corner of South Short Street and West Canal Street. The OHI form describes the property as being built around 1866. It's a 2-story frame double house with vernacular Victorian design. Again, this home apparently was on the 200 block of West Franklin Street and then moved after the canal was filled in. This home is not listed on the National Register. The applicant, as I mentioned, is proposing to construct a 24-foot by 26-foot, 620 square foot 2-car detached garage. The garage will be traditionally built, which is wood frame construction on a concrete slab. with poured concrete footers. Exterior will be hardy plank siding, which is a fiber cement siding installed to match the existing residence. The roof will receive the same style of shingles, which are gray asphalt architectural style shingle, and gutters and downspouts to match. The garage doors will be of the carriage style design as attached in your packet. And the proposed building will be painted using Sherwin-Williams SW7006 extra white, also to match the exterior of the existing residence. The existing driveway will be changed from gravel to a poured concrete using the same layout that currently exists. There is a attached site plan in your packet. This application has been reviewed. Staff does recommend the approvals for the proposed modifications as they do meet the City of Troy requirements. These modifications will not detract from the historic integrity of the current building or surrounding properties. And the materials proposed are appropriate for and do not detract from any of the architectural or historic nature of the property.
Any questions of staff?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a garage there currently?
No, ma'am. During the tornado, a large tree fell over, which was part of the reason for a previous application on a neighboring property, which opened up a space for them to actually now complete a detached garage.
I find it interesting. This is the home of Har, the clothier from Har on the Square, which is now the Bakehouse building. Did you catch that?
Yep.
Just a little piece of trivia, sorry. Any other questions of staff? Commission want to take any action?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
There's motion to second. Any further discussion? Mr. Wilkie seconded it.
No, I didn't, but I will.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who was seconded it then?
Ed.
Mr. Westmeyer did. I'm sorry. Thank you, Ed. Apologies, Larry. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mr. Titterington,
Yes.
Mr. Westmeyer,
Yes.
Mr. Cappers,
Yes.
Mr. McGarry,
Yes.
Mr. Wolke,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
approved.
Okay, next we have a historic district application for 145 South Short Street for a number of improvements. Does staff have a report?
Yes, sir, we do. The applicant has been Denlinger Construction. The owners are newer owners, Mark and Jennifer Roth. They're requesting planning commission approval for exterior modifications and a rear addition to the existing home located at 145 South Short Street. Again, this property is zoned R5 single family residential. It's located at the corner of South Short and West Canal. OHI form describes the property as being built around 1910. It's a 1.5-story vernacular frame cottage with a small gable porch and roof dormer with a newer addition of vinyl siding. This home is also not listed on the National Register. As you mentioned, there are quite a few modifications. The first major one is a rear second-story addition to the existing structure. Along with that addition, they will be installing new vinyl siding over that addition. That vinyl siding will match the current vinyl siding on the existing home in the same blue color. The roof system for the residence and garage is proposed to be changed from the current brown asphalt architectural shingles to a onyx black color. Also, in an asphalt architectural shingle and gutters and downspouts will be replaced with a similar aluminum, but in the color of white. The applicant is also requesting to install new windows in the residence and the new addition. The existing windows for this home do not appear to be original, even though they are wood. They do have varying degrees of deterioration. The proposed replacements are Anderson windows, Series 400 Woodwright. They are double hung wood and composite clad windows. They will not have internal drills or muttons and be in the color black, which they will match the same design as what is currently at or installed in the home now. All the trim, soffit, and fascia boards will be replaced or repainted. Currently, it's a light yellow color to white using Sherwin-Williams SW7005 pure white. front porch will also be modified by replacing the plain aluminum clad posts and trim to a cedar post. The front and rear entry doors are being proposed to be replaced with Provia entry doors with glass, one in the color of River Gorge and the other in black, with the addition of storm doors in the color black. Those are attached to your packet. The existing shutters will be repainted or replaced with a similar vinyl shutter, but in the color black. The existing garage doors will remain, yet be painted from the light yellow color to white to match the proposed trim colors. And then all other colors and products have been attached to your packet. Staff does recommend approval for these proposed modifications as they do meet the City of Troy requirements. The alterations do not detract from the historic integrity of the building, and these modifications will not negatively impact the streetscape of the properties.
Okay, any questions of staff?
I've got one question.
Go
On the windows, there's no mullions or dividers on it. Has that become an issue? It's not I know it's a personal preference, but does that become an issue during a review of historical buildings?
If a property specifically calls out a 1/1 or a 6/6 divided light window, we will take note of that, especially if they're going to replace with something different. If they were the original wood windows, these, however, are not. So I don't think it has as much weight to it. However, they are providing a similar window in design to what's there. So they're not changing any character features. So on this project, no, there's not much concern from the staff.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I don't have enough necessarily a preference. I just was kind of curious if it became a factor.
Any other questions of staff? Commission want to take any action?
I'll move to approve.
There's a motion. Is there support?
I'll support.
Okay, any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Titterington,
Yes.
Mr. Westmeyer,
Yes.
Mr. Cappers,
Yes.
Mr. McGarry,
Yes.
Mr. Wolke,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Mrs. Early.
yes.
Approved.
Okay, are there any other matters to come before the commission, staff?
No, sir.
Okay. We do have a letter from a citizen, Evan Thea Owens. It's not ripe for any consideration before the commission. Has staff talked to her about her concerns?
Yes, sir. I spoke with her yesterday. She called in after delivering the letters. I spoke to her and let her know what the city's process and procedures were for the demolition and issuance of the actual permit, and steps that she needed to take to, I guess, provide her own protection for her property.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Anything else to come before the commission?
No, I've just got a quick question kind of related to that. Does the city require bonds and insurance for the contractors that come in for demolition?
Yeah, we require a performance bond.
And is there like a minimum insurance because they'll be working in the right of way in some cases?
No, there's no work really in the right of way. It's all on private property that they would be removing. So they would be required to post a bond for the project cost.
Okay.
But the bond is for performing the demolition, not necessarily for insuring
Right.
neighboring homes.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns?
Do I get a chance to speak here?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll give you some leeway.
Well, thank you. This week I submitted 2 letters to you.
And we've received those, yes.
Okay. And the first letter was an attempt to try to hold off the issuance of the demo permit until I had a chance to get a structural engineer in to review my home and the whole situation. And then I did speak with Mr. Watson and he told me what was repeated in this meeting. So it occurred to me that I probably wasn't very clear about what my concerns were. And so I issued a second letter, which you received today. I issued it this morning. And I want to make it very clear that I am extremely concerned about property during the demolition process. It's not a trivial matter. And so I supplied you and the church with the specific questions that I think should be answered before demolition starts. And the reason I sent this letter to you, I also gave supporting information about historic properties and demolition actions. But the reason I sent the letter to you is to let you know how serious a matter this is. And it's not only serious for me. When you talk about and consider demolishing any proximity, I mean, you realize that my property line is literally 2 inches from the wall of the property that's going to be demolished. And there isn't even 6 feet wall to wall between the 2 properties. My property is a masonry property. It's bricks. Bricks don't yield very well to vibration. That there's a good possibility that cracks could be incurred. Another reason I'm so concerned about this is that at no time has anybody in any way shown that they even had any concern about what would happen to my property. I have received no information about whether that property taken down to street level or whether it's going to remain at its current level. That has an impact on the structural support of my property. This isn't a small issue, and I'm not posing it to delay for the sense of delaying. I'm posing it because I really don't want my property damaged. Because if it is damaged, it'll be up to the insurance companies to fight it out. But meanwhile, I'm left with a degraded property, and a property that I have put much money and my heart and soul into. And
Ms.
I
Owens,
think
thank
the
you.
planning
Thank you for
board-
your comments. I think you put your thoughts and comments down in the letters that we received, which we have reviewed. The issues, the Planning Commission can only take action on the issues that are currently before it in applications. Your comments and concerns should be directed to staff, and according to Mr. Watson, they have been. If the city is required to take any remedial efforts to preserve your property from the demolition, I'm sure staff will go ahead and inform you of those. If not, it's up to you and the neighboring property to do that.
Well, Mr. Watson was referring to our discussion about the first letter I sent. The second letter I have not discussed with Mr. Watson. I just wrote it today and delivered it today.
And those
So,
questions.
But I think, but why, if the Planning Commission is in the position of allowing demolitions, why shouldn't the Planning Commission be aware of issues such as proximity to properties, whether it's in the ordinances or not? It's certainly something to consider when you're trying to protect property. I mean, I realize it's not literally in your purview, but then there are a lot of ordinances that are literally in your purview that were ignored on the previous decision. So I'm really at a loss. As a citizen who is trying to protect her property, the reason I came to you once again today is to say, is there anything you can do to assist in at least protecting my property now and others' property in the future? I want you to think about
Staff?
that.
Staff, do you have any comments for her as far as protecting her property from the demolition results?
Yeah, Mr. Cappers
Yes, please.
did address this issue quite a while ago because the concern has come up several times. And basically what it amounts to is what you said earlier, and that is that beyond issuing the appropriateness certificate and requiring a performance bond to make sure that the demolition is completed as approved by the Planning Commission, any issues between the two property owners are private property issues, and they are civil matters, and they're not something that we can get involved with. If we can mediate, if there are concerns that come up and there are concerns about communicating directly between property owners, we would be glad to step in and try to mediate those. But beyond that, providing any kind of guarantees, any kind of insurance against damages that might occur between properties, that is out of our control and purview.
I concur. Evanthea, if you don't like that answer, I would suggest you contact your legal counsel and discuss it with them. Anything else to come before the commission?
No.
No, sir.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, we stand adjourned. Thank you for your attendance.